This is your daily market review for Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Hope you're having a great day. Interesting action today, a little bit of all over the place. VIX closed at the low of the day. Talked about bonds starting to catch a bid. Some tech was up, some tech was down, some stocks were up, gold was up. It's an interesting day. Again, personally, it's tough to say what's real and what's not because you have new money markup first and last 3 business days of the month. Typically have some interesting repeating patterns, and especially new month usually up with new money flows at the end of the month, sometimes down. Either way, you tend to see tops and bottoms during these time frames. Either way, make sure you are managing your positions. I see a lot of people out there trading great, and then I see a lot of people just going nuts. And the ones that are going nuts, not so well. Ones that are trading and executing both up and down are doing great. So, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link description below. Again, love to talk about, I had some folks reaching out today, talking about what's the best future investment. We talk about it all the time. It is not tech. It is absolutely dumping the queues and looking for materials, inputs, whatever you want to call it. And again, we'll talk about that in time, why that's so important on a deeper level. But remember, if you're going to grow this great economy based on future technology, the inputs are the bottleneck. That needs to be invested in. And then tech is pricing in, just like the dot-com bubble, endless growth that ultimately led to what? A decade of nothingness. I'm not saying that Qs can't necessarily go higher, but you want to perform the best. I personally think that's your solution. Kindly, if you'd like to chat, take 30 minutes. Let me know I can help. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate anywhere in the country, I can put you in in touch with a great agent anywhere. Love to help out. You get 2 agents for the price of 1. Also, like, subscribe on the X, post some trades, ideas, thoughts. Also on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. If you'd like to donate, links in the description below, or hit the thanks button. Haven't seen a thanks button in a while. I'll be surprised if someone does it. If they do, I'll give them a shout out. Again, love to give shout outs for folks who are involved in the Discord room or the channel. It's highly appreciated. Also, follow thetradingagent.com. Tons of resources, insights, ideas, thoughts, whatever you want to do, my friends. Let's do it. So, man, for some reason, the Tuesday recap isn't on there. Let's get that going. Anyway, so we know going into the next Fed meeting, it's more than likely not going to happen that there's going to be a cut unless things get dramatically worse. Now, what's interesting is interest rates have gone down a little the last couple of days, and what has also happened, right? The Fed fund futures for a rate cut have also increased. Noticed that as well. Keep an eye on it. Good old Bitcoin. Again, it's interesting because, again, most Bitcoiners that I know are very humble, very just generous, good people. The ones that just endlessly crap talk, man, it's kind of interesting to see gold outperforming it. Because, again, I think both have their use. But, hey, guys, you can get caught in this chop cycles, right? This happens. And so this is where I think Bitcoin has to break out. If not, it's going to hold in this chop cycle. You have to hold that 91,000 level. Again, keep it simple, stupid. Don't overthink this, please. Don't go nuts, right? Don't go knuckin' futs. Don't go out there and go do something silly, right? I personally think if you're smart about this, you're managing your positions, right? You trade around your positions. You can trade. I mean, the market's meant to be traded, folks. People get frustrated. Oil should bounce here, but if it's not and the bonds are rallying, something's going on. Again, we've talked about growth slowing coming up. The GDP numbers are slow. You're expecting the jobs numbers are slowing. I don't know what to say, y'all. Keep it simple, stupid. Again, expect a pullback. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to go dump in tomorrow, but it is what it is. Natty gas, as we've talked about, I like natural gas long term, but I want to see it pull back. Again, and when I say pullback, 2, ones would be ideal. 2s would be great. But you get what you get, right? This is why you manage your positions. All right, let's get into what we're watching overall. Dollar. We talked about this trading between these ranges. There you go. Hits range highs, backs off. Now we're below the 100-day. This is what you got to watch for. Dollar strength, dollar weakness. What's coming? Dollar volatility is crucial if you're going to see some big moves in the market. That's just what I'm watching for. I'm not really, again, I think gold will rip. Silver will rip if the dollar weakens. Bitcoin seems to be really dollar indifferent. Let's just call it what it is. TLT, again, great trade. We talked about this. If you bought in the 87, 88 area, put your stop at the 20-day. You put your stop at 87. There we go. There we go. Keep an eye on this. I do believe that, again, I mean, interest rates, money has to rotate. It has to leave something and go to something, right? That's how this works. Like, money isn't destroyed. So think about that. And if money is coming out of tech, it's going to be finding its home in different places, in my opinion. Bonds could be one of them. Just keep that in mind. This is a reoccurring theme, that happens within the market. Look at the VIX, right? We talk about open, high, close, low every day. Jesus crikey. Filled the gap back at the 50-day 200. I will say I thought the VIX would be down more. But here we go. Back at the 200-day. Keep an eye on it. SPY, I mean, filling the gaps. Back in the blue zone. Okay. Big choppy action. Worth an eye. I mean, you got to keep it. I mean, could we break out? I don't know. It had a fake breakout a couple weeks ago, beginning of January. Qs seem to be lagging, but, right, fills the gap. Do we need to fill this gap? 529? 529 plan? I don't know. It's tough. The volume is just doo-doo. Doo-doo brown. Right? It's the lowest volumes of the year, essentially. You're right there at it. So keep an eye on it. I mean, I don't trust it. New money, new month. I mean, it's easy to really pull your bid as a short or bears, just in general selling, knowing that new money's going to come in and just let it float higher. We'll see how we follow the next couple days. IWM, look at this bounce back, right? We talked about this. Watching the 50-day if you want to short. Again, I didn't do anything on it today, but I put it in the best trades I did. I think it makes sense. I'd be watching to see if we wick and break back under it. Dia high, Dia low. Chopping around. Again, not much to say on it. Gold continues to crank higher. Volume pretty large today. I mean, is it time for some slowdown? I mean, overbought, but again, it just raise your stops. You don't need to overthink it. I will say that I don't like to see that silver did not really push through the 29s. But again, I mean, you go from 26 to 29s. Does it need to consolidate a little bit? Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it just needed a little consolidation. Right? Keep an eye on it. Again, personally, I think that silver will be higher long term, but it doesn't mean it can't be volatile and get slapped around. The miners, we talked about trying to play catch up. About time. You're welcome. We talked about this trade. Again, I'm not personally in it, but I don't mind cheering on the miners. This is one of my favorite sectors to trade. We've talked about it. Like, once you could really clear up, gold breakout, these need to play follow-up. And remember, gold was breaking out down here. This is a pretty solid follow-up, 12, 13, 14%, real quick. Nice freaking work, boys and girls. Can I say boys and girls these days? Same thing here with the miners. Junior miners need to lead. Now, again, I would love to see them up at new highs, but they're not there yet. So, again, be what it be. AEM, look at this. We talked about this is the leader in the gold market, in my opinion. Like, this stock looks way better than other other gold stocks. If you know a better gold or silver stock and you want me to review it, I don't mind adding it to the docket. I have a few of them. AG, I mean, I can rally through them real quick and look at the charts, probably chopping around. Again, had a nice bounce yesterday. I follow Royal Gold, right? That one looks all right. Not leading to new highs. Silver Wheaton or Wheaton Precious Metals looks pretty solid. FNB, right? I mean, these are all names that we've been following for a long time. I guess FNB is looking pretty damn good. It's not making new highs, but new highs off the lows, right? NFGC was another one that was always interesting to me. Keep an eye on this one at the lows. SILV, right? This is another one like this one. This one looks like it's about to break out potentially, right? Like, this looks strong. Strong like bull. If silver goes, this should freaking rocket. SLJ is the junior one. Just keep an eye on it, right? MAG has always been a fun one, right? This one's looking okay. HL, I'm just ripping through them real quick, right? Right, and this is coming off the lows. Newmont been definitely lagging hard, but due to catch up, watch the 50, 100-day cross and pass. Man, I just went through all the miners I really follow. If there's names out there that I'm not paying attention to, please leave a comment below. Pass, again, back at the range highs. I mean, things look very interesting. Again, I hope they break out. Again, I've got lots of physical. I'm not really that. I mean, again, I can always trade. Again, when I traded miners, this is the hardest thing. If the market pulls back at times, it can rally, but sometimes they get clobbered. And I'd rather wait for the clobbering or a pullback at further moves, because I think, again, in my best ideas list, it's short tech. Taiwan Semi 20-day looks pretty obvious here. That's a solid short area. Macron seems to be chopping around. I mean, AMD was a doozy. Qualcomm after hours down. What was it? ARM down. We'll see what happens. AMD, right? Earnings. Bleh. Nice little potential bottom near term, but I mean, I think it's in a downtrend. So again, what's the upside? 20-day maybe? Keep an eye on, I guess. NVIDIA rallied back to 125. I mean, I was watching the 200-day. I personally don't have a quick idea on where the best stoppage zone would be. Probably be around 127. 8, 10-day, all this jazz to the left. Keep an eye on it. SMCI got a nice bounce up 8% today. This one's tricky, tricky. Not interested in it. Intellectual property. We've talked about it. You can play the trading range if you want. Bueller, I don't know. I'm just not having no interest. AVGO, we talked about post today. Say watch what happens up here. 238 rejection. SMH, right? Talked about this one breaking the lows, didn't break the lows, and coming back, bouncing, chopping around. Again, market holding up. Rising tide should lift boats. Keep an eye on it. See if they lag continues. Adobe, 20 days, what I'm watching for. Apple, the applesauce, right? We talked about this bouncing back to this 20, 50, 100, 100-day cross blue zone. Makes sense to take some shorts here, in my opinion, with tight stops. Amazon, keep an eye on this one. This reacted, I think, is down based on some of the cloud computing stuff that Google said their numbers were down. We'll see what happens here. Again, I mean, it's holding up pretty well. I'm not going to sit here and say much. I mean, I think they have earnings tomorrow after the close, which they do. Keep an eye on it. Meta seems to be holding up. Again, talked about this breaking over the trend again and giving it back. Chop top, question mark. I mean, this thing has been on a run. Again, I'm not saying go short and this thing is going to zero, but it makes sense if it's due to pull back. CRM, same kind of thing, chopping around. Guggenheim. Gaps down in earnings. Said watch the 50-day yesterday on the recap. Look at that. Look at that guy. Oh my God, he was fucking spot on. Okay, see what happens here. Doji's an interesting formation on earnings on heavy volume because it's very indecision. You had a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers. If they got the next future chips, makes sense if it rallies. If they're just another headline, that isn't really the big deal, then it'll dump. Microsoft chopping around, not much to say. NDAQ, this little biscuit got a back rally. It's like, man, I think it's going back to the highs. Keep an eye on that one for the shorty. MicroStrategy, again, I mean, it's just not acting like it's got much to do. I mean, here we go. We talk about big moves and consolidation patterns. Do you really want to play this? And you can play the range of lows, play the range highs, but leave it alone. Netflix, we talked about shorting this. I stopped out of my last put. It had a nice trade yesterday. Jay Solstice and the crew talking about options potentially getting up to 1030. We were showing this on the 10-minute intraday. If you're in the Discord room, we're talking about the action, right? And said once it broke out, you had to get out. But also, too, look what it did. It came right back. And this is what you say, tricky action. Then rallied into the close. Hey, man, I'm not going to, again, if people are saying things and they're warning me, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm deaf to it. No, I appreciate you guys sharing information, especially ones of you guys that have been consistently showing up and helping out and being involved. And, we just love each other, man. It's a good thing. Roblox, man, is on fire. Fuck. This is one where you go, all right, we liked it down here, but didn't do shit. Now it's on that straight J curve. Keep an eye on it. I mean, it's good, great stuff. Great trade. Band W, chopping around, watching this, 190 level Tesla. Watch the range of lows. This thing looks like it could get burned. Insight. I think this is a buyout target, but again, this is not something I don't know if I'd be really trading. I'd stuff this in your portfolio and just say, see you later. HIMS, we talked about this. Doji today, keep an eye on it. You're welcome. Again, I personally will take a short on this at some point. I'm waiting for either after the Super Bowl or before. I'm not sure. I mean, this is a huge run. People on social media, again, they hate when I do this, but I'm taking a stand here. I don't think, again, the weight loss drugs and everything that they're doing, Amazon could hit the enter button and mimic their business. There's a lot of competition out there. And again, people don't realize, like, dude, you can download you can get a prescription easy. Download the Good RX coupon, and you're going to save 80-90% of what these guys are charging. It's pretty stupid. Their business model to me isn't sustainable. That's just my opinion. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not a soothsayer. I don't know anything for certain. But I'd be watching the short for the 2 times range, probably in the 50s. Or sorry, the mid 40s. Palantir, we talked about this blow off on earnings, 2 times range, probably due to chop around. Good old McDonald's, chop around. Speaking of chop, nothing. DKNG, again, I like the short up here. We talked about this. Makes sense to me. Again, watch the channel. Airbnb Bizzle. Keep an eye on this, right? Chopping around. Going anywhere, we'll see. Costco, this one's interesting, right? We talked about the formation here. Again, I have to give credit. Some people were saying this could rally, and I'm like, man, I don't know if it could rally a ton. Can't remember who said it, but again, leave a comment if it was you. I'm like, man, after this big move, could it? But then we talked about it a couple days. Like, does this lead to some sort of head and shoulders complex? Right? Because this has been a big move. I don't think it's sustainable. Right? And so where is that head end, in my opinion? Keep in mind, like, and this is where you pull back and then chop around. Again, anyway, we'll talk about it when it happens. But congrats to Bulls. I mean, absolutely nailed it. Starbucks, again, I like the short here. Didn't do anything yet. New money, new month. Yeah, I'm just, again, probably should have shorted it today, but I'm not going to, just didn't have the gusto in to do anything too big today. Again, I was watching Netflix and got popped out on my last part of that one and got some of these other long dated stuff. I'm not trading too aggressively at the moment. FedEx, waiting for the first 3 business days of the month to pass. That makes sense. Tomorrow, Friday should be the days. Again, keep in mind, it is jobs numbers Friday. Could be difficult. Keep an eye on that, right? FedEx, lagging, barf. Talked about it as a good short. Caterpillar, we talked about the short from the range highs. Man, if you break the 200-day, I'm telling you, this could get ugly fast. You get back down to the mid to low threes. Low threes, not mid. Already there. Deere, this is acting like a tech stock. How? Why? Again, fund flows. However, this has made a nice run. It's due to pull back, in my opinion. Nucor, again, we like material names. Let them play out. I mean, I know people are buying this stuff. Again, we talked about it. You could buy it down here. I didn't give it the blessing. I just said, don't be surprised if it gets volatile. That's all. Long term, I don't think you're going to lose. X, right? Chopping around again. I think the better prices to buy. VALE, we've talked about. Who bought down here at the 8s? Nice work. Keep an eye on it. Roll up your stops. Arrow, what have we talked about? Like, I'd like to see it 12, but I mean, what's the damn difference? If you're holding this for the long run, you're trying to build a position, it's probably a good area to buy and define your risk, set your stop, and just see what the fuck happens and not worry about it. CCJ, all right, we talked about this one, right? Like, you got to love uranium. I mean, man, I'm going to start incorporating more material stocks at this point. Watch it, chop around. CF, again, I'm just waiting for the death of tech. Chopping around. Nice pops the last couple days and then giving up some of it, right? Nothing crazy. I mean, these things have had nice poppers, right? I like them long term. Again, you got to love ag. Aaron, right? Aluminum, you got, the stock is a no-brainer long term, but again, where's it bottom? That's where it's going to get choppy. XLF was talking about this one today, like watching this fill the gap right back at the highs. Wow, nice work, right? Again, I believe in the short on financials. If it fails here, again, it's minimal risk in my opinion. Again, got some longer term JP Morgan puts. I have no doubt I could lose. No doubt I could win, right? It's binary. I like shorting near the highs. It makes sense, right? Just like buying dips near the lows, like for materials. That's what you fucking do, right? Watching Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. Keep an eye on this one, right? Like a lot of these names are chop topping. Goldman Sachs seems to be chop topping. Carry, this one's been a little bit all over the place, but chop topping, right? Keep an eye on it. XBI, we talked about like risk on kind of name. Okay, nice bounce the first couple days of the month. Look, 3 green days after pulling back. Here's the end of the month phenomenon, right? Pull back and rally back. Seen this many times. Jets seems to be chopping at I mean, this feels like the top, man. Again, 20-day curling down or sideways. Again, you do have a choppy formation, so you need to let it resolve. XHB, again, we like the housing sector to pull back in time. Again, it seems ripe. Just keep an eye on it. Solar, Giannis, nowhere. Again, it might be time to end the solar game and put in some more of these material names. This First Solar, I mean, again, I like these. I like First Solar, but I think it gets weaker. HYG, you got to be high to your mind to be corporate debt. Oil, so we talked about, due to bounce, got a little bounce and gave it back up. UNG, I hate this product, right? I mean, just, it's going to be all over the place. KLD, keep an eye on this, right? Like, again, I mean, I think you get, the risk reward is not in downside. I think it's due to bounce. XOP, we talked about this, oversold, bouncing, chopping at the 100-day. Keep an eye on it. I know we talked about the gasoline names getting some freaking massive pop yesterday. We'll see if they continue going, all right? Keep an eye on this. 200-day, chop. CVE, we talked about this like looking like this is a bottoming, right? This thing is, I mean, again, it's an oversold bounce or a bottom. I mean, it looks like a bear trap, right? With above average volume. Again, not saying it can't rip, but it might be a good place to start taking some buys. Remember CVEJ, if you're listening. BP makes sense here, right? ExxonMobil. I like this name, but it ain't going anywhere yet, so you got to just wait. Occidental. We like this name too. And Buffett ain't losing. He's selling puts and he's getting paid, y'all. He's getting paid. Just a big choppy zone. When is he getting paid? I don't freaking know. EXO EQT, right? We talked about this one holding up really well, leading up. Some of the boys are on that one. NFLX LNG. Keeping an eye on this one again because I think we'll be natural gas exporters. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Use the Calendly link. Let's talk for 30 minutes, see what I can do to help. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.